Every single day, 150,000 people die, and the majority of them, in their final moments, are not afraid of death. They are devastated by the life they never lived, the risks they never took, the words they never said, the version of themselves they kept promising to become tomorrow, next month, next year, until tomorrow simply stopped coming. That is not going to be your story. Not if you stay with me right now. Because what you are about to hear is not motivation. It is not a pep talk. It is a full-scale intervention on the patterns, the lies, and the invisible chains that have been keeping you small, and you have been so close to them for so long that you stopped seeing them as chains at all. You started calling them reality. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why your comfort zone is killing you silently. Why perfectionism is not your standard, it is your excuse. Why the clock has been running a tab on every moment you chose, waiting over moving. And most importantly, I am going to hand you the one shift, the single identity level decision that separates the people who look back on a full life from the ones who look back and count the doors they never opened. You have been waiting for a sign. This is it. Do not look away. Your comfort zone is a coffin. It's padded, it's familiar, it's warm, and it is slowly burying you alive. Every morning you wake up and choose safety over growth, you are nailing another plank into that box. You call it being practical, you call it being realistic. But let's be honest about what it actually is. It is fear wearing a suit. It is procrastination with a reasonable explanation. It is the slow, quiet death of everything you were capable of becoming. Nobody tells you this, so I will. The comfort zone doesn't protect you. It shrinks you. Every year you stay inside it, your world gets smaller. Your risks get more terrifying. Your dreams get quieter. The gap between who you are and who you could have been gets wider and harder to look at. People don't fall apart from one big failure. They hollow out from 1,000 small retreats back to what feels safe. So here's the question that should keep you up at night. What does waiting actually cost you? Not in theory, in real numbers. Real relationships, real years. Real versions of yourself that never got to exist because you kept telling them to hold on just a little longer. The day you stop waiting is not some magical future date circled on a calendar. It is a decision, brutal, immediate, and completely available to you right now. Not when the fear disappears. Not when the money is right. Not when life finally hands you the perfect conditions that, by the way, are never coming. The people who changed their lives didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for certainty. They got so tired of the weight of their own potential going unused that they moved, messy, scared, underprepared, and they figured it out in motion. Momentum doesn't build before you start. It builds because you started. The first step doesn't require courage, it creates it. Every action you take rewires your brain to believe you are someone who acts, someone who moves, someone who is no longer negotiating with their own greatness. And that belief, compounded daily, is the only thing that separates the people who look back on a full life from the ones who look back and count all the doors they never opened. Stop waiting. The clock has never once waited for you. Done is better than perfect. And the sooner you burn that into your nervous system, the sooner your life actually begins. Perfectionism is not a standard. It is a stalling tactic dressed in discipline. It is the part of you that is terrified of being judged, terrified of falling short, terrified of putting something real into the world and having the world say it isn't enough. So instead of shipping, you polish. Instead of launching, you tweak. Instead of starting, you plan the start of the start. And years go by, and the thing you were meant to build is still sitting in a document, in a drawer, in the back of your mind, waiting for a version of ready that was never going to arrive. The greatest things ever created were started ugly. The first draft was a mess. The first pitch was rejected. The first product had problems. The first performance was rough. But it existed, and because it existed, it could be improved. You cannot edit a blank page. You cannot refine something you never began. The world does not reward the person with the most polished plan. It rewards the person who showed up, put something real on the table, and kept going when it wasn't perfect. Done, imperfect, and in motion will always beat perfect, polished, and paralyzed. Now here's the part nobody wants to sit with. You are not stuck. You are choosing. Every single day you wake up and do not move toward the life you say you want, you are making a choice. It is not circumstances holding you back. It is not timing. It is not the economy or your upbringing or the people around you, not entirely, not ultimately, because at some point every person who ever broke through had reasons not to. They had obstacles, doubts, limitations, and 100 legitimate excuses available to them. The difference is they stopped using those excuses as a destination and started using them as a backdrop, something behind them, not in front of them. Owning that is uncomfortable. It is supposed to be, because the moment you accept that you are the one choosing, you also accept that you are the one who can unchoose it. The power that feels like blame is actually the most liberating truth available to you. You are not a passenger in your own life. You are the driver. You have always been the driver. The clock doesn't lie, but you do. You lie to yourself every morning, you hit snooze on your own ambitions. You lie every time you say, I'll start soon, knowing full well that soon is the most expensive word in the English language. It costs you months. It costs you years. It costs you entire chapters of your life that you will never get back, no matter how hard you work later, no matter how sorry you feel, no matter how clearly you can see, in hindsight, exactly where you traded your potential for your comfort. Time is the one currency that spends itself whether you invest it or not. And the clock, unlike you, is always honest about how much is left. Every hour you waste is an hour that belonged to the future version of you. The one who built the thing, who made the call, who took the leap, who finally stopped negotiating with their own fear and decided that the life they wanted was worth the discomfort of actually pursuing it. That version of you is not gone, but they are waiting. And waiting has a cost that compounds just as ruthlessly as any debt you have ever carried. Stop rehearsing your life and live it. Stop running the scenario in your head for the 100th time and step into it. Rehearsal feels productive because it mimics motion, but it produces nothing. It changes nothing. The conversation you have been practicing does not count until you have it. The business you have been designing in your mind does not exist until you build it. The person you have been meaning to become does not show up through thinking alone. Life is not a performance you prepare for in private until you feel confident enough to go public. It is happening right now, in real time, with or without your participation. Every excuse has an expiry date, and for most of you, that date has already passed. You have been carrying the same reasons, the same stories, the same carefully constructed explanations for why now isn't the right time. But excuses don't age well. What sounded reasonable at 25 sounds like surrender at 35. What felt like patience eventually reveals itself as avoidance. The excuse was never the truth. It was protection. And at some point, protection becomes a prison. The version of you that waited is gone. You cannot retrieve them. You cannot negotiate with lost time or reclaim the opportunities that expired while you were getting ready. But here is what you still have. Right now, today, you have the version of you that finally knows better. The one who has felt the weight of waiting long enough to be truly done with it. That version is not behind. That version is exactly on time. The only question is whether you will listen to them or silence them with another excuse that has long since stopped being true. Urgency is a skill, and like every skill, you can build it, sharpen it, and deploy it deliberately. It is not panic. It is not recklessness. It is the disciplined awareness that time is finite and your excuses are not. The people who move fastest toward meaningful lives are not the most talented. They are the ones who internalize that waiting is not neutral. It is a decision with consequences. Every day without urgency is a vote against your own future. The life you want is on the other side of the start, not the other side of perfect preparation, not the other side of fear disappearing, the other side of a single committed, irreversible first step. That step does not require everything to be aligned. It requires only one thing, you moving. The distance between where you are and where you want to be is not measured in talent or resources. It is measured in the number of starts you have been willing to make. You have now heard everything you needed to hear. Not everything you wanted, everything you needed. And there is a difference. What you wanted was comfort. What you needed was the truth. The truth that your life is not on pause. It is in motion right now, with or without your intention behind it. The truth that every day you spend waiting is a day you are actively choosing a smaller life. The truth that the person you were born to become is not waiting for perfect conditions. That person is waiting for your decision. So make it. Today, not tomorrow, not after this video. Now! Draw a line in this moment between the version of you that waited and the version of you that moves. Cross it and do not look back. If this speech lit something up inside you, if it cracked something open, then you are exactly where you need to be. Welcome to Alpha Motivation World, where we do not do comfort, we do transformation. Hit that like button if this hit you hard. Drop in the comments the one word that describes what you are done waiting for. Subscribe, because what is coming next will push you even further. The next speech will challenge everything you think you know about fear and why the most successful people alive are addicted to it.